Okay, so I welcome you to this preview of the English Premier League Matchday 26 preview. We're going to do this preview as usual with our Betmaster Tool that you can get your access to as well if you follow the link in the description. If you have any trouble signing in or getting access, getting to where as far as being able to compile prices with the tool, then I would be very happy if you would comment on it and tell me about it, or rather elsewhere get in touch with me, which should be possible, and then I can answer all the questions or help you through, guide you through. It is going to work and you will be very pleased with what you see and what you get. And if you get this far, then here's my tree already that I set up. This is my personal tree where I have all the leagues here. I mean, it's like, I don't know, when you see that, plenty of leagues which you wouldn't have, and I wouldn't recommend that you take them all or try to approach them all in one go, or in the first place. Rather focus on certain leagues you want to compile first with the tool, and you can get my evaluations that is up here, which you should see as well as soon as you entered here, and then you can download my evaluations. That's something for a start to adjust those evaluations if you are not happy with them. If you think no, I know Aston Villa are better than Brighton or Burnley are better than Crystal Palace, whatever you think, you can still adjust that. And but anyway, you can enter any league here, type in the name, and then add it here, and then you will find it in your tree, and then you can click on it. And if you have problems, please don't be afraid. Ask me, and don't complain. I mean, it's still in the process here that we improve in all areas. But what we wanted to have is the functionality first, so you can start right away. So then you should see something like this, and click on this button here, and then you view this league, only this league, and then you come here to this screen, and you won't have all the matches compiled yet. Maybe if you download my evaluations, then you might be there. I mean, it depends at what time you select you decide to work with this tool, which is really doing an amazing job here. Now you can show or hide the left column, because we want to have more space for the view here, for this view. And if you want to do some action with this, you can select all the games and then compile the prices, which is doing all the work. You can change the format here and maybe check the probabilities. They will sum up to 100%, these three values here. You can even select the market up here. If you want the goals, to bet on the goals, you can go to the goals and you can do plenty of things. Most recommended, or this is the way that I work, is select the round and go from here. And at least you will have some prices. You can compare them right away. Also with these settings here, those are my favorite settings. You can check that back maybe if you are coming this far yourself. And then of course there are some help videos already, and I will do more of these if time allows it. But we are in process, work is in process. We will improve in all areas, especially now that what I've done here is do the statistic-based method, introduce this one as well. There are plenty of such sheets here to make this functionality possible, even in an Excel file in the first place. I want to introduce this into the tool anytime soon, so you will have more or less a second opinion on the compilation. Now you can check here. This is the sort criteria. It's always the goals to be scored divided by the goals to be conceded. And if you compare it with the current table, then you will have some You can click on this, then you see the current table, and in this table we are still a bit slow at the moment because we have to move with the server because there's plenty of traffic going on here. So of course this will be a better quotient because you see this here, that is 4.36 and the stored strength is just 3.07, but Manchester City are simply by far the best. But this divided by this will be 4.36. This is the value you see here, and this is the value that is stored currently in my settings. Also Liverpool played better than this value which is stored, which always means you could even adjust your strength a bit more to that. But if you divide 63 by 25, then you will see something similar to the values that you see in the 63 divided by, I do this here for you manually, that's 2.52. This is the average goals that Manchester City did score this year. If you see this is a bit behind, so actually the statistic based method would say no, they are not creating these many chances. For Manchester City it may be special, it's still the right quotient here, I would say, because they are defending pretty well as well. They are not allowing many goal chances and they are not producing these many. If they do create one, it's usually a goal, more or less. So that means maybe the statistic-based method is even not perfect for them here, but there is something like a conversion rate. To explain this in more depth, I will of course need to take a little more time and also introduce you in other videos maybe into this model. And but anyway, it's based on the statistics that the teams played at, which we can always compare here. But anyway, you see a ranking which looks pretty decent as well. Norwich are bottom still, of course. Burnley, Newcastle improving recently, of course, and introducing a few new players over the winter period. Watford, Brentford, pretty okay, but now going down a bit. Leeds, Leicester, terrible. Everton, really bad, but with a win yesterday, midweek, or when did they win? And Aston Villa, Southampton improving. Crystal Palace here. It looks pretty decent. Brighton, very good campaign. They lost yesterday to Manchester United. Anyway, it looks like a fairly decent ranking here as well, which you can compare as well to the ranking you have here. If you go to the teams settings here, that you can also open up here, and then you would see it's the same thing here. Manchester City top, Liverpool second, Chelsea actually pretty close here because results are still fine. Manchester United still in fourth place, although not playing well. Arsenal had been struggling, improving. Tottenham here, West Ham were very decent. Leicester still maybe a bit overrated, not winning their games. Anyway, this is the ranking that this is based on, my calculations here, and now we will go straight into this and check out if we find any bets. We can compare this with market. If we check on this here or click on this, West Ham 173, even if this were above the true price, we would most likely stay away because Newcastle just had their recent wins, and we can compare this here as well in the statistic method. I mean, anyone getting this access to the tool, he should of course get the those updates of the tool. So which pairing did we look at? West Ham, it was 185, 0.99. So it even says here this is the statistic based model which compiles these goal expectancies based on the statistics the teams played at. So this is pretty complex, pretty deep method, but it's giving us similar values. But if it says anything, then it says West Ham do not have the same good chance that the computer says here. So the true price should be higher than 170. should be 175, 178, something like that. So we are not going to bet on this one. In the Arsenal-Brentford, the only thing we might consider is go with Brentford. I mean, Brentford are not in such a great shape at the moment. Here it would still give us some support for our bet, because the statistic method just says, if anything, Brentford are even a bit closer to winning something here from Arsenal. And if we check out the Asian handicap, minus 0.5, we can check here. That's 2.87 that we get on, plus 0.5 on Brentford. And if you wish to know, you can compile the double chance here as well. We can do this in one go for all the games while I explain it. The double chance would be 1x, 1 to x2, and you get the true prices for that. So if we find a true price here of better than, I mean, this should be, our true price should be lower than 2.87, then we would have a bet. And it's still compiling 70%, 90%, takes a few seconds, but it's going to be faster in a very near future. 280 is only the price, so we do not really have a bet, only given that the statistic-based method says, yes, you can try. I mean, it supports the idea, but just very, very slightly. And if you wish to know some more details about the game, then you click on this here, and you get all this more stats, that also the most recent results. How did we evaluate Arsenal? There is a point difference, and actually they even are better than expected now, given the points they expected so far, the points they won, even in the goal difference, that's plus 2.08. So they scored one goal more than expected, and they conceded one less. So they are actually in decent shape. Of looking at Brentford, 26 goals is very close to what I expected. 40 conceded is very close to what I expected. Could hardly be any better, but if anything, they are worse than expected. And the minus 2.84 points is also below, and minus 1.54 goals is the same thing. Brentford did win promotion, had a very good start, and now they are going down with just a single point in the last 6 games, which you see here. And Arsenal also struggling a bit with just a single win and a single goal in last 4. So would this support our idea? Maybe, very, very well, only just. So would you wish to go with Brentford? I don't think so. I mean, it's too close, and a few points against it, especially the poor shape by Brentford. But as Arsenal are not scoring any goals recently, you can find the support you want for the bet. I would say no, but it's very, very small margin. Aston Villa against Watford, 187. So here maybe the tool would recommend us to go with Watford, give them a chance. I think this will be supported here, which is obviously the case. So it means there's a very good point in supporting Watford. This looks fine here. We can do the same thing. Check out the minus 0.5, 2.40. And I have to go back to the fixtures here, and I have to go back to the double chance. Of course, I could compile it in my head as well, but we are going to check here. Now there's we want the x2, that's 215, and we compare what we get, that's 240. So this is a very solid bet, supported by the statistic-based method, which means for me, I mean, we obviously have a bet here on Watford, although you may not like it too much. I mean, Aston Villa, Steve Gerrard, Watford struggling, but those are the chances you sometimes get. 5 losses, 3 draws only, but Aston Villa only with a single win in last 8 games. So this is also not impressing too much, and this looks awful here, obviously not scoring any goals, 4 games without a goal. terrible, but obviously their efforts are a bit better. Here this is minus 4.55. Of course, the pure stats will speak for Aston Villa, but as I said, obviously Watford are doing a fairly decent job on the pitch, but not turning this into results. We have to give them a chance here. Brighton against Burnley. This is double chance. We don't want to see this. We want to see the home win. 2.29. Very much we have to go with Burnley. Same thing here as in Aston Villa Watford. X2. We have to check that here. 1.68. No, here it does not confirm at all. It simply says Brighton are a very good side, Burnley not so good. So I either could adjust my settings in the tool here already, or I simply say no, let's check, see what happens. Few goals only, and so on, and maybe Burnley put up some resistance. Maybe they are not going to lose. We wait for things to happen and do not really necessarily have to adjust it. Maybe an under we could consider here, which is Brighton yesterday with a poor loss at Manchester United, but effort was actually okay again. Could have scored a few times. They are awful, but goals are fine. 17-29, not conceding any. 25-25, under. Very obviously, under two obvious undersides. Not an one over in the last 8 and 2 over in the last 8. But if you take the total of goals, that's 11 goals in the last 8 games, and that would be, it's always 2, so that's 14 plus 5, that's 19 goals in the last 7, under 3, and that's only 11, as I said, I guess, 10, 11 in last 8. So it looks like a fairly decent under, which we can compile as well. So if you want to know, but of course, if I change my approach here, we look out for the unders. That's a different whole approach to this betting market. I would rather stick to the bets in which we support a side and we go with them, and we want to sorry for that goal, but we want to feel with the team we support, and if they get a result, we get a result, right? So if we bet plus 1.5 or something like that, right? Asian handicap plus 1.5, then our team lose, and we still may win some money. But if they concede a second, they don't mind. So anyway, it's kind of an we see that the under is clearly indicated here, 1.73, something like that we should get in the Brighton Burnley. Was it the one? I'm sure that was, pretty sure. 2.5, that's 1.69 here. But that's very, very clearly above the true price of 1.39, which is, in a very certain sense, it is confirmed. Would I recommend it? Obviously, after we looked at it and everything confirms it, we have to confirm the bet, but it's a different kind of betting then that you would choose. In the Crystal Palace Chelsea, it could be, you can also click on the best price here, 169 would even tell us maybe go with Chelsea. We compare it with this tool here, and here it won't confirm at all. It doesn't like Chelsea at all. They are producing the results. It likes Crystal Palace a lot better, so no way we are ever gonna go with Chelsea. Liverpool Norwich, it's a 114, that's very obvious. Market won't have a better price, of course, you can forget that, but we are not going with Norwich as well. In Southampton Everton, we have 2.03, maybe someone has 2.1 that we could consider, and we can compare this here, which we would do in the first place. Here it says no, we do not want to go with Southampton, even for a 210 or 215 we wouldn't. We are happy with that. Everton had their result last week, and we know it's some problem all season, but they changed the coach again, and maybe it's getting a bit better. No idea, but I wouldn't touch this game. Manchester City against Tottenham. That's 138. Computer always a bit above market, of course. It would say maybe Tottenham have a chance. Manchester City scored 5 last night at Sporting. They win their games with ease, it seems. This statistic-based method will, of course, support Tottenham, because here it says even a better chance. Not so many goals conceded, but obviously it says Manchester City are not going to score these many. But we know they are like the anaconda. I don't know. They simply win their games. I don't recommend it. No idea, really. It's not fun to go against Manchester City. It's even big difference compared to Bayern Munich. If you go against Bayern Munich, you see they are conceding goals. They are conceding chances. Last week they conceded 4 goals. Doesn't happen to Manchester City. But this is, we still have those probabilities and so on. And of course, Tottenham are a huge side that also can provide a setup here, maybe. But with a given probability, no idea really. Manchester United, once again, lucky. I would never by any means go with Manchester United here. And here it says clearly less chances, so would even go with Leeds. Of course, I can't recommend that given those settings here, but you see where it goes, either Leeds or nothing, but rather stay away. Where do we find a bet? Not a bet at all. In Wolves against Leicester, looks like a draw or an under as well, something like that. We can compare it here. Wolverhampton, it says also few goals, 1.42 goals. So if anything, we could look at the over-under market here and maybe compare it here. I'm not disappointed if I do not find any bet, because it usually tells me you're doing a good job with your tool. Anyone using it or trying to start using it may be disappointed, say, well, okay, it's a very good tool. It always tells me you can't bet. Well, we find the bets here or there. We have a couple. If they are indicated, you usually can say there's no indication at all, but in this one game there is one, so you would have a lot more trust in that. Okay, Wolves, the under 2.5, 171, you see here. It's not even an indication really. 169 is the price we get, 171 is the fair price, the true price. So not a bet there either. No chance, because statistic method says even a bit more goals. In West Ham, Newcastle, we stay away. In Arsenal, Brentford, we only can go with Brentford. So for the it is close enough. It should be an x2 maybe. Aston Villa, Watford was in fact an x2, but a daring one. Watford are losing their games. That's why, but Aston Villa are not winning at the moment. Brighton against Burnley, we found the under more or less, so it would even be 3 bets here, but all the others did not work out at all. So that's just 3 ideas that I can offer you here, and that's the whole story. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Leave your like, comment on it please, about what I said. Any questions, subscribe to my channel, would be very welcome. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.